today I want us to talk about Adam and Eve, and how every time when we talk about Adam and Eve, we always see images of white people, white Adam, white Eve, Cain and Abel. I myself even used white images in my video. Check it out. The Genesis creation story, white two accounts. I used white images to represent Adam and Eve. But if we look at this story historically, if we approach it from a historical and a scientific point of view, we have to think back at these images being white and come back to the fact that the first people to walk on earth were actually melanated people. Then this whole aspect of us using white images to represent Adam and Eve then is whitewashing of history. Because if history tells us, if facts tell us that the first people to walk on this earth, on this planet, were melanated people, then that is also to mean that Adam and Eve were melanated people. Yes, that is to mean that Adam and Eve were melanated people. And that also then goes in deep to tell us that God is also a melanated being, because if we look at Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 to 27, where we are made in the image and likeness of God, if we are to interpret this literally, then this is to mean that God is also a melanated being. Yeah. And let's not forget there was a time in history, early Christians, before the Renaissance period, where images of God and images of saints were melanated beings and not whitewashed. It is up until the Renaissance period where we see depictions of Jesus and depictions of saints and depictions of God becoming white. That this is to mean that if this interpretation is to be taken literally, then God is black people, that God is melanated. Yes, and from his image and likeness, he created the first beings, Adam and Eve, who are melanated people. Now, the second thing that also points to us that Adam and Eve are melanated people is Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, where we are created from dust, ground, and every time as you look at your ground, the soil, let me grab some soil, is made from dust, this is soil. And look at the color of soil, look at the color of dust. What color is it? It's mostly reddish. This has this hue, similar hue as me, you see. So this is then another evidence points us out to us that Adam and Eve then were melanated beings. Yes. So we have to question and ask why this is not talked about in mainstream religion, in Christianity. We don't hear people talking about Adam and Eve being melanated beings. We mostly just see images of white people, and we have gotten comfortable with this, and I had to address this because factually it does not make sense for Adam and Eve to be white figures. We have to correct this. They have to be white. They have to be melanated figures, because this is the actual representation and of them. And then we also have to remember that a black woman is the origin of all creation. Fortunately, yes. So, and then if this is the fact, then if Adam and Eve were melanated beings, then this changes how we view things, because then we come to understand that woman was the first person to be awakened. Melanated woman was the first being to be awakened, and then she awakened her partner, melanated Adam, So this also goes to explain to you the reason as to why the melanated woman is the most oppressed woman in the system, because she's the one who is easy to awaken, and so you have to keep her oppressed and busy so that she can never ever 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 awaken to her divine true potential, because if she does, the system falls. Very interesting. It's very interesting when you come to look at the facts, when you compare the facts to Genesis, and when you even when you look at facts and compare it to Genesis, you come and find out that Genesis is just how many, 110,000 years ago old, But then you come and compare it with the first skeleton that was found here on Earth, which is 3.2 million years old. That is so much older than the Genesis story. So we have to start asking then, where are the remains of Adam and Eve? If we can find remains 3.2 million years old, Lucy, why can we all find Adam and Eve's remains? But that is a story for another day. So guys, tell me what tell me what you have always thought about the images of Adam and Eve. Have you ever actually thought of them to be melanated beings, or have you been too programmed, like I have also been too programmed, to think about them as white figures, and God also a white figure? Tell me in the comments.